I'm gonna ramble here till everybody gets on. There's two reasons. Wednesday night, I'm gonna do a Facebook Live tonight, and I apologize for running over last week. I did not know. It was an hour and 45 minutes. I actually did Facebook Live. Two reasons why I'm doing it tonight. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I'm trying to make it an hour. Not a lot of traffic on Wednesday night other than the Puro Pero podcast with Chino. And I think he went on earlier. And that's one reason. It's kind of crowded on Friday nights and nothing on Wednesday. I keep on getting where the wives are hating me for Friday night. You know, I'm kind of putting two and two together. That's probably their date night, and the guys want to stay up and watch, or, you know, late, and it is Friday night. So that is another, one of the other reasons. Another reason is crowded on Friday night. I think I have Leroy coming on, and I think he changes his stuff on because I am running over, and I don't want to step on those guys' toes. There's two other podcasters that go on Friday night. And another one, too, is I want to check to see if I'm pulling in more viewers on Wednesday night than I am on Friday night, because a lot of you guys are either traveling to tournaments, you're sitting down at a tournament, you know, you guys are eating on Friday nights. If you're at a tournament this time of year, you know, it's not as big as it would be during the summertime and early fall and early spring. You know, but just I want to see if I can pull in a little bit more traffic on Wednesday, and I'm going to find out after this and see how many guys tune in. And I didn't give any warning that I was doing this. This is kind of like the main reason, you know, that I have to do it is because I won't be in town. I'm leaving town tomorrow afternoon. I have a job where every year I work at Baker 3 Ranch. I'm a guide with my son. My son works there, and he has some guys that come in. I did it last year, and I'm doing it more this year because they're kind of have a lot more people that up there, and I kind of know the ranch. It's 20,000 acres in Rock Springs called the Baker 3 Ranch. You guys can Google it and look at it and see. My son they have a Facebook page too. You can get on that. A lot of pictures of animals, exotics and stuff like that. And we'll be up there tomorrow afternoon until next Wednesday. Back in town for Thanksgiving, and I head back out there the weekend after that weekend, and then I'll be there till January. I'm gonna try to squeeze in some BP in between now and January, because right now, I mean, it's gonna be 50 all week next week here in San Antonio. I don't think today it was nice actually. They got the 80 degrees today, but it was 50 this morning. What's up, David? So basically, like 4 different things I want to try out tonight. Bigger audience. You know, I'm not that pressed for time on Wednesdays as I would be on Fridays, because other people come on behind me, and I want you guys to watch them too. And then, you know, get off, you know, not step on too many toes with the significant other taking up you guys' time on that Friday night. You know, because I know with me, that's date night for me and my wife. We go out to eat on Friday nights. And I don't want to cut into that. You don't want to piss off the wife, girlfriend, significant other. So I'm going to kind of run it a little bit on Wednesdays, see how it goes. If not, then I'll bring it back to Fridays. And my wife's just telling me, maybe those guys like Friday nights. They get to sit in a dungeon and where they're at in their house and laugh and talk and bullshit, you know. Have some guys over. I heard that you guys do that too, and I'm truly grateful that y'all guys watch this. Another thing too, I was talking about Florida last week a little bit, and I want to get into that. Not too much rant, too much about shaving, because I wish I can tell you the shit that I know about the shaving part, you know, and how blatant it is with people just doing it and don't really give a shit. I'm not going to get into that. It's a problem. I'm telling you, it's a good problem, and it is going to be a problem. Something's got to be done. Let's not wait till somebody gets really hurt to do something about it. That's the biggest thing. But I was in Florida, met a bunch of great people in Florida, talked to a bunch of people that watch the channel and kind of tell me things that I bring back, and I tell the guys, like I was texting every time you guys tell me something, I was texting the guys right away about what you guys said. And I listen to you guys. Another thing too, every year that this happens, this time of year, I always listen to what you guys have to say, and I'm gonna implement it till the next year. I did it last year, and I changed some things last year, and this year I'm gonna change some things this coming up year. I am gonna go after a couple of 65, 70-year-old guys with, and kind of keep it. And I think I do a good job of it now. But what's up, Richard? Are you back? Richard Clem was in Florida, Softball Magazine Seniors. He was up there visiting, representing, I guess. Charlie Mueller, how you doing, Charlie? So what I want to do is I hear basically building this channel off of what you guys were talking to me about during the year. What I need to improve on, Trey Roberts, and what can I do, to better, to benefit you guys, to better. And I'm going to be looking at, and did a group text to the guys. I haven't done it yet, but I guess they're right here and they can see this. But 65 and 70-year-old guys coming down, not a lot, just coming down. And I think I did a good job. We have Javier that comes down and hits with us on Thursdays. Known him for a few years since he got here from California, and he's $175, and he 5'5", 5'6", sorry, Javi, but 5'6", 5'7", somewhere around there, and he comes out and hits with us. So you can see, the way the smaller guys perform whenever we're hitting these bats. My bat speed is diminishing. It's not like it was 10 years ago. We've got the Bubba and we got the Mark Reeves, who hasn't been there in a while, but he still comes in every once in a while when he's working and when his schedule meets ours. But what I want to do, change some things up for next year. There is, like if you guys watch my behind the scenes now, you can see where I'm posting a lot of the bats that are being swung. Trey Roberts brought this up to me, and I kind of got mad at him because he's trying to make my job a lot harder, but Trey thought it would be a good idea to start posting on the when you guys watch behind the scenes, the weight distribution in the bat. So let's say we're swinging a wig popper, 27 ounce. You guys want to know what the weight distribution in that bat, because a lot of you guys are going into that, because, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute here. A lot of you guys are starting to look at weight distribution, and I think that's a big plus. I think it's barrel softness, barrel hardness, weight distribution, handle flex. Is it a 3,500? Is it a 4,500, 4,700? We're talking about handle flex, guys. You got a big ass end load on the end. You can do a stiffer handle, on that bat. And I think we are going in that direction slowly but surely, and we have been for the last 14 years. I think it's the right way. Give you a prime example. This is the reason I think it's the right way. I'm not even looking at my damn chart. And I preach this, and one thing about me, guys, and the reason I do these videos is because I have record of me talking about this for 14 years. It's just not hearsay. You guys can go back and look. I know you're not going to, but I have a record of me talking about this for 14 years. And what I was talking about is like weight distribution and bat companies mislabeling a lot of their bats. Prime example, max load. I kind of wrote them down here. Doing max load, super max, max load, mother load, 0.75, 0.50, half an ounce in load, balance bats. What I found out years ago when I started doing this weight distribution, because I've always thought weight distribution for long 30-something years, since Billy taught it to me back in the early 80s. Billy taught it to me, and I started digging deeper into it. So I've always been that weight distribution guy. So what I would bitch and moan to a lot of these back companies was they were mislabeling. Max load was not a max load. Max load was more like a big end load with a big hand weight. That defeats the purpose. It's not a big max load. Mother load was another one too. You can't have a mother load with over 11 handle weight, and that's what Easton was doing years ago. And they were adding weight to the hands with it, actually making it a balance bat. It didn't swing like a mother load. They're talking, when you say mother load, it's big end load, guys. I think what has happened to the bat industry lately is a lot of guys, when I say guys, I mean a lot of the bat manufacturers out there are starting to pick it up. Weight distribution. What I've noticed in the past couple of years, if their bats crack too easy, what they have started doing is adding weight to the hands and putting it back out there, not changing the thickness of the barrel. So they add more hand weight, takes less stress off. It takes stress off the barrel. So you're not going to get that trampoline effect. It's not going to crack. It probably lasts. Just to give you an example, if you had half an ounce, if you got a bat that's cracking at 300 swings, and I know bat companies out there have done this. If you got a bat that's cracking at 300 swings, you could add half an ounce to the hands. It's going to put about 200 swings more on that bat. So that's going to meet that, because every bat company has a threshold where they gotta meet. They gotta be in it. And I think it's 400. That's just me. I think it's about 400. And I think that's where they can make some money. So that's the way that those guys, are out there. And you're not gonna be mad at getting 400 off a top tier bat. So they're not gonna hear it from you all the time. And then at 400, you're buying another bat. So their turnaround, their profit margin is going to go pretty good, where they're not making a killing off of you, but they make good money off of you. The problem with the 2.0s and the OG red knobs and OG Dudleys back in the day is they were getting 3,000 to 4,000. I know I got 3,500 on a red knob OG back in the day. You're not making any money doing that. That's how come I keep on telling people out there that bat will never be produced. That will never be made the way, the way they were made back then, because of a lot of things they did to that bat to make it perform, plus the longevity. I think it has a lot to do with what they were dipping it in. I think that if you guys remember, the OGs had a coating on the inside of that barrel, if that cap flew off. That's why a lot of those caps started flying off when on the first run, second run of those bats. A lot of the end cap just started popping off because of the substance that was on the inside, that gooey stuff that was on the inside. I think that helped with the trampoline effect, and I think that helped with the longevity. So they cannot mimic that bat, and they will never. A lot of you guys ask me, does it compare to the OG? And there's nothing that compares to the OG. Guys need to get that out of your head. There's nothing that's going to compare to that in longevity and performance. I will say this, what a lot of bat manufacturers have done is got away from that softer barrel. They're producing, and I think it has a lot to do with the kids, the 40-year-olds that opened up, because if you guys remember, everybody was focused, 6, 7, 8 years ago on that softer barrel, and they've got away from it. And what we have here is we have a lot of bat companies out there catering. And I think it's a disservice for me especially, and all the guys that like that softer barrel, that don't have that bat speed that the 40-year-olds have. 39-year-old has that he's going to turn 40 that year. And they're catering more to them, because if you think about it, there's a lot more of them than there are the 65 and 70s, the 75s. They're just not a lot. And it's just, and I think it's hard. The older you get, the harder you got to put in twice the work as you did. You just got to put in twice the work as you did when when in your 30s and 40s. I know that for a fact because I do it, and it just gets harder and harder and harder. But I don't quit. I know that if I quit, if I take a layoff, like I'm already hitting the weights right now. If I lay off a little bit, it's going to be so hard for me to come back and play. I keep up with my supplements and my nutrition and stuff like that. And I know if I take a break from that, it's just going to be so hard for me to catch back up with that again. But basically, what a lot of bat companies were used to do, you know, Combat being one of them a long time ago, if you guys remember that. And then you have a lot of these bat companies that are talking about mother load, you know, and what I started doing is doing weight distribution. And then that was one of my talking points when I would come up here and talk about bats, is it's not a mother load. It's a balanced bat, or it's a 1/4 ounce end load, or a 1/2 ounce end load. I don't even think they have a 1/4 ounce end load. So it's a 1/2 ounce end load, shit like that. So I started doing that 14 years ago, and it's caught on. You know, we have bats that are called, you know, 1/2 ounce end loads that are borderline balanced bats. And you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that big mass on the end to help that barrel flex. What I would like to see, and a lot of the bat manufacturers start going more toward a softer barrel. Onyx started doing it. It's here somewhere. Onyx started doing it, and it's right here in front of me, but I can't see it. Unless I missed it. Onyx started doing that with this new bat that they came out with. And for some reason, it's in my hand. There you go. This one right here has got a softer barrel. One of the first softer barrels that Onyx has came out with, except for the Greg Cerna. The Cerna Strong. And he developed this for not a long time, but this is another bat that actually is a softer barrel bat. That's a very good bat. I like the way this barrel actually flexes. It gets softer. If you guys can pick one of these up. If you older seniors are out there and you can pick one of these up and you bat speeds 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, this is a good buy. If you can find one of these, it's a 2-piece. 13-inch barrel bat, performs very well. It softens up really good for you. Onyx then came out with this year, this one right now. We are testing this bat out. Let you guys, I actually cutting up the video today on this. It should be out before I leave. Go up tomorrow. I have a bunch of videos that are cut up, so when I'm up there and I have a break, I'm going to actually jump over and start publishing a lot of these videos that I have up, swinging this bat too. But what we've got into, you know, even Dudley, barrel's a little harder, you know, harder than the old Dudleys. Like this is a retro. The only difference between, if you guys, I love this bat. I think the video on this bat's going to be out within a couple of days. I love the way this bat performs. It's just not soft like the OGs. So if you guys pick up this bat and you think it's a retro, if you guys think that this bat's going to be soft, it's not going to be soft. It's going to be middle tier, not that soft tier. It's not going to loosen up like the OGs did on you. So don't buy that bat thinking it's just like the original. It is a good bat, guys, but it's a little bit tougher barrel. And I know a lot of you guys out there, older seniors, you know, with that 60, 70, pushing 80 maybe, you know, 75 mile an hour, see that bat and you think it's going to be like the other one. It's not like the other one. It is a good bat and it swings very well, which tells me the weight distribution, handle flex going with the end load. It's got a, you know, it's got a 16.6 and 8.8 on the hands. This is the 26 ounce. But get back to what, before I get into all them bats, get back to what I was talking about with Trey. Trey said it would be a good idea, for one, is put the weight distribution of all the bat manufacturers, because I know a lot of you guys, I've been told this, will walk up to a lot of bats that are out there and you'll actually look at the weight distribution on the bats. I think that's a good thing. You know, you can tell by performance. I can tell when I do a weight distribution on a bat if the bat's going to, you know, suck, unless it's got a great barrel. You know, up handle weight, I get disappointed when I see they're calling a 1/2 ounce end load. You got a 10.4 on the hands, you know, pushing 11 on the hands, and you're calling a 1/2 ounce end load. I get disappointed unless that barrel is very soft to perform for you. You know, that's another thing too I want to talk to you guys about, is how to pick a bat out. And I think with us it's going to take probably, cutting up a 2-hour video, it's probably going to take another 20 minutes for me to cut up that 2-hour video. And I think it's going to benefit you guys. So whenever I do, I don't even have the weights on this one. This is the new Cali. We're talking about the DeMarini, talking about bats. talking about weight distribution, you know, whenever I put up the Onyx, you know, and I can put a 17.186 on the hands, what Carlos did was he went up in the hand weight. That's one thing I like about Onyx and a lot of the new bat companies out there. Some of the older ones are doing this too, is they're actually, Short Porch is doing it too, is they're actually going, you know, they're experimenting every year. They're not satisfied with being that number 2, number 3 spot. They want that number 1 spot. So what Carlos did is he's actually went into the shop and put on more handle weight. More handle weights is a good thing if you soften the barrel. More handle weight actually adds to a lot more consistency when you're hitting the ball, a lot more better control. And another thing too, a lot of you guys, when I was in Florida, we're talking about base hits. You know, I don't think you guys, when you guys see videos of us hitting, you only seen us blowing. That's it, because we want to see what kind of distance. And all my guys too, I want to make sure that everybody understands this. I tell my guys, see how far you can hit it. We're hitting on a baseball field. It's 325 to the bottom of the fence. To the bottom of the fence is 320. 340, 350 where the actual goalpost at for the soccer. Dead center is 380 to the bottom. So we don't hit on baseball. We don't have softball fields. We hit on baseball fields. That's another thing too when you're actually watching us hit. And we're trying to hit it out. We're trying to see if we can hit it to the road, because I think, you know, that actually helps with a lot of performance on the bat. You know, a lot of you guys were talking to me about, why don't you do an exit speed, you know, a ball exit speed, you know, have that little black thing, pocket radar. I've had them, guys. I think human error in those, if I had it tied, this is the deal. If I had this tied to a machine like a lever, and then it spun the same speed every time, I think that pocket radar would be awesome, you know. But if you notice, if you chop it down and hit into the ground, it actually numbers go up. Well, who does that? You know, I don't know if anybody that really chops it right straight into the ground. And a lot of guys have that Ken Griffey swing where they just try to hit it, they drive it. A lot of your upper class ball players will try to just drive it into the ground like a tee shot. It just boom, it just starts to rise. So that could be 75 miles an hour compared to 100 miles an hour if you chop it into the ground. And I think there's so much human error that ties into that little pocket radar. You know, were you fresh? You know, were you tired? Especially when it comes to senior ball. You know, how strong were you that morning when you got out there and do it? How many did you do in a row? So that numbers, that miles per hour can go down, and then the more you do it can go down and down and down. Are you fresh? You know, are you carbing up? Are you hydrating? You know, there's so much shit, human error that can go into a little pocket radar. I don't like doing pocket radars. I think they've sent a false sense of how good the bats are. You know, I think mass weight distribution, you know, has a lot to do with it. It just takes too long to do a pocket radar right, and you're still not going to get exact numbers unless you're stuck this bat to a machine and test it that way. You're still not going to get the exact numbers. And let's say, what if you're off 2 miles an hour? You know, because that round didn't feel good to you. All of a sudden you say, this is the best bat ever made. That's not. So that's the reason we don't do pocket radar, and I don't believe in pocket radar. A lot of you guys might, and that's fine with you. So I just don't want to put it on what we do. There's so many other things that actually come into play. I think, you know, pocket radars, when you got the top 5, you know, maybe it'd be good. But if you know, there's so many bats out there that don't even make that top 5. And, you know, I don't think sticking a pocket radar on there, getting too long into that, but I just don't want to do it. Now a compression tester. Damn, I lost connection there. On a bat speed tester, not bat speed tester, on a, I don't even think I might have it here in front of me. I don't see it though. It is there is a compression tester. Now I would not mind getting a compression tester. This is whenever I talk about this is a bat speed tester. This is how you check your swing speed. This is it right here. I know it's backwards, but you guys can get on the internet, and I bought this for $125. You know, it takes batteries in the back of it. You hang on the fence and you swing your bat in front of it. And that's a good way to get your bat speed, you know, on what bat you can pick. And then you go look on my website and pick a bat from those numbers that I have on there on how fast you're swinging that bat. I think this is more benefit than any kind of exit speed tester that you can do. The exit speed tester, in a nutshell, depends on who's swinging the bat. If you have a senior over there that's 65, 70, and he's got a 50-mile-an-hour bat speed, and he's swinging a hard barrel bat, that's not doing anything for him. But if you stick a soft barrel bat in his hands, you know, he's going to get a little bit different feel, a little bit different performance. And, you know, it's all about the feel too. A lot of you guys don't understand. It's all about how the weight distribution in the bat and how it feels. You're just checking barrel performance. You know, you're not checking consistency, you know, on what actually plays a role in what we do, swinging the bats. Can we hit base hits? What I was getting back to is a lot of you guys talking about, you know, we don't see the way, like I hit in games, or Trey hits in games, Chino hits in games. I don't see that because it's different. It's a different mindset. You know, we're not trying to blow them out. I played in Florida last week. We took second in Florida, and I hit one home run. That was it. Everything up was 5-6-0, slapping the ball down, slapping the ball up the middle, and just slapping it, trying running, beating it out, trying to get on base. So that's a lot of, you guys don't see this. So what we're going to do in this next year, and I talked to my guys, and Chino actually brought it up too, because there's some guys that were asking him, like, we'll do, maybe I just bought, I'm going to show you that in a minute, I bought 2 cases of balls for this next year. And so maybe instead of doing 4 rounds, we might do another round of 5 and just 1 round putting just base hits in there and feeling the performance on a bat. We still do this. But I just want to get video of just hitting the ball down, because you'll hear Bubba, like Bubba will always do this. When he gets a bat in his hands that he really does like, he goes, and you watch him, he'll start chopping down on it to see if he's got, although that is a top tier bat, he wants to make sure that he has control of that bat hitting up in the middle, 5-6-0. Because believe it or not, guys, there are bats out there that are badass, but you don't have any control over it. You know, because the handle weight might be too low. Clem, we talked about this in shirts. You know, the handle weight might be too low. So you're gonna hit the bombs, but further, but you're just not gonna have control. Your consistency is not gonna be there. You know, we talked about this. We're gonna start pushing that, implementing that into next year. You know, what we're going to do with just 1 round of just nothing but just slapping up the middle. You know, slap hitters, another thing too, little tip for you guys. I could be considered a slap hitter, you know, 5'9" and 245 pounds. I slap the ball. Whenever I get in trouble, 2 strikes on me, I'm trying to slap it. I benefit better from a soft barrel bat. If I try to slap with a hard barrel bat, I'm not going to get any performance on the ball, because lowering my bat speed, you know, instead of being what it is, it could be, you know, only 60%, 70% of that, you know. So I need that barrel to perform for me if I, you know, because I'm a slap hitter. One thing you guys have to understand that too when picking out a bat. You know, balanced bats, you can't have a hard barrel balanced bat. You got to have a soft barrel balanced bat, because you don't have that mass to help you. You're not having that mass on the end to compress that barrel. So if you have a hard barrel on a balanced bat, it's not going to benefit you. You got to have a soft barrel. Why do you think, guys, the Black OG was such a badass bat for balance guys? Softer barrel. Takes a little bit longer to get there, though. You got to remember that. When you have a balanced bat, it takes reps to get it there, because you have no mass. On the end to collapse that wall, because you've got a big 9, 10, 5, or 11 handle weight, you know, so you have no mass. And you have no mass here to collapse that wall. So you got to hit it longer to get it to break in. And if that barrel's hard, you're going to be hitting up 600, 700, 800 swings to try to get that barrel to loosen up, if it even does loosen up for you. Carry this with me everywhere I go if guys need to check to see what their bat speed is. Compression testing, I think next year I will have a compression tester. I know that for a fact. What I want to get it, and I'm going to work the compression tester different than what you guys do. We're going to test to see, you know, We usually can tell if a bat breaks in fast, you know, if it's a gamer technology, just by us swinging them. Because we've been doing this for a long time, guys. We've been doing this for 14 years, and we played a lot of ball. Swung a lot of bats, so we actually remember all the bats that we swung. A compression tester would be used, in my opinion, to see, like, my compression numbers are probably different than Bubba's compression numbers. I actually think Bubba's are 190. That's just me, you know, and I talked to him about this too. Charlie's is a little different. Clem's a little different. You know, mine is lower than that on compression because I do like that soft barrel. And I'm a cutter too. Another thing too, if you're a cutter, a softer barrel would benefit you better of you than being a square ball hitter. Bubba's a cutter. That's why I told him he would be 190, 185, and 190. You know, if you got a square ball hitter, his numbers might want to be higher because you're hitting the barrel of that ball and you're squaring it up. That's what everybody says, but you're squaring that ball up. So you would benefit more from a harder barrel. Cutters benefit tremendously from soft barrel bats. And I'm not talking about 140 soft, you know, because there's a threshold in there where you can get too low and then that barrel's going to collapse on you. It's going to implode. Trampoline effect's going to be like this and the ball's going to be resting on the barrel too long to actually give it that pop out. So you got to learn. That's something you have to know. Nobody can really tell you that. That's just something you have to know. If I see you square up a wall up and I see where it goes, I can tell you need to get rid of that bat. Your bat speed's too high for it. If I'm watching you, I can do it. Bubba can do it. You know, all my guys can do it, you know, just by watching you. And we've talked about this whenever we've been out there. So, a lot of things that are going to go for next year. I have a website, seniorsoftballbatreviews.com. I want to put a message board on that website. The reason I want to do this is because, you know, there is always these people out there. It's a way that I can chime in on it. I'm going to have some people, mainly my guys are in charge of that. You know, they're going to be watching it and making sure all the dickheads ain't saying or anything. It's going to be one of those guys. It's going to be one of those it's going to be one of those message boards where you can't be mean, you know, but there's going to be a lot of bat information on it. So that's another thing too that I want to put on my website. I just get a little message board. And I made this decision the other day when I actually got up on the last time I posted an SSUSA website on the message board about bats and about, you know, miscellaneous stuff was 2017 was the last time that I posted on there. I actually got on there and said I'm going to start posting a lot more on SSUSA website, kind of keep in touch with a lot of those guys because my name is brought up a lot when it comes to talking about bats. So I want to kind of chime in. And that website message board, if you guys remember, is not like it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, there was a ton of people on there. You know, now there's not really a lot of people on there. I don't know if it's this time of year, everybody kind of winds down, you know, but I want to start talking more on that website and then have my, on that message board, sorry, and then have my own message board that I'm going to start doing for next year. Things that are on for next year, man. Like I said, a lot of you guys have been telling me I need to get some older guys, and here I am. Older guys, I mean 65, 70-year-old. I'm 63, and I don't think we have anybody that's older than me anymore. And I've got a couple of guys in mind that I'm going to actually come and ask to go and hit with us. And what that will do with a lot of my viewers that are the older guys, and I talked to a lot of you guys in Vegas, and I talked to a lot of you guys in Florida, was what that's going to do with you guys is it's going to give you a better perspective on what bat to choose because you don't have these guys with 80 plus mile an hour swinging them. You've got to see. I could sit here and tell you till I'm blue in the face, but you're not going to believe me because it's all about video. You want to see video, you know. Some guy gets up there. I love the way you guys do this. I love the way when you talk about this is let me see the video. And when some guy gets up there and talks about shit and you say, let me see the video, I agree with that. Like I post all of my shit. I post all of our shit, you know, behind the scenes. You can hear us talking. You know, my games, you can see the games, you know, that we're playing in, you know. So I think that's my backup. That's my backup when we're talking about weight distribution. I've been talking about it for 14 years. So you hear somebody else come up and say, yeah, I've been talking about this for 20 years. Well, where's the video at of you talking about this for that long? But yeah, I'm kind of looking through this. Couple of things I want to talk about. Shoot. A couple of things I want to talk about here that I saw in Vegas that I think this is the beginning of the year, end of the year. And you're going to start running to the beginning of the year. But next year when you guys start doing this, and I saw this in Vegas quite a bit, is runners that are going in for a guy that just got a base hit. What's happening, it happened to our team and it happens to a lot of other teams out there, is you have a guy that's on deck. Guy before him gets a base hit. Well, all of a sudden this guy walks up to the box. Everybody should do this. Everybody should have a routine they go through before they get in the box. I have one. All of my guys, when you step into the plate, not when we're hitting BP, but when we're in a game, they have a routine that they have to go through. I do it. I get up in the box. I do my little routine. I step, and I'll tell them, give me some time. I'll get locked in, and then I get in there, and Adrian, I don't know if he's on here yet. We talked about this a little bit. Is I get locked in, and then I get set, and I get locked in. Well, whenever they call courtesy runner, I've got to start that shit all back over again, and I don't want to. So what I saw a lot of people in Vegas, I saw a lot, and I've seen this for years, and I've talked about this in videos, and a lot of people in Florida were doing it too, is you were freezing your own guy. Because you wanted to get that runner in there. You should be thinking before that guy even hits. You know that he's going to need a runner. He's got bad knees, bad legs, whatever. You know he's going to need a runner. So if he gets on, that guy needs to swap out as fast as he can. That way you're not putting a disservice at your hitter that's going up there where he's got to get set twice. He's got to go through his little routine again. You don't want to do that shit, guys. And I've seen a lot of you guys do that. Your coaches are to blame for that. Players are getting in the game. They're not really paying attention. They're not watching the runner. They're getting focused. They're in the dugout. Your coach should be watching this shit and say, if this guy gets on, I need you to run for him. And then boom, boom. That's it. That way that guy's getting through his motion. He's not even looking at you. He's already zoned in, right? A lot of you guys are not doing that. You're waiting until that your own player gets set into the box. He's getting ready. And you call time, need a runner. I would be mad. I'd be mad. And I have been mad at my own teammates for that, doing that. My coaches for doing that too. Because you're actually freezing. You're doing something. I've been a pitcher. So you're doing something that I used to do to batters. I'd let them get set in the box and get ready. And then I would just back out. Go talk to my second baseman. So you're doing that to your own, guys. So quit doing that. You need to, next year, you need to get back to doing, you need to get back to having, who's going to need a runner. You know that, get him in there and get him out, man. Don't do that to your players that are out there. Another thing, let's see what time I got here. Dang. A few things I want to go through here. I have a bad neck. And I always talk about shit. Last week's video was collagen, bone broth. And I hope you guys are taking that as a supplement this year, especially in the off season. I hope you guys are not taking a break. That's just me. I don't take breaks. I do something, at least something. I'll go to D-bat and take a shitty bat there, and I will actually hit some balls. At least every, if it's the weather's bad, every other weekend. Or every other week. I usually do it in a week where nobody's in there. And then I'll go in and take some swings. I have a bad neck, and I can swear by this. And I actually told Chino he needs to start this too. If you ever guys saw this, if you lay on it, it's for your neck. You actually lay your back here, and you put your neck over this. You guys notice I don't have a neck, right? They call me no neck back in the day. I don't have a neck. So this is a little, I try to get that little bend out of it where it stretches the vertebrae in my neck. This shit works, guys. It's kept me out of neck surgery right here. Decompresses the vertebrae, pulls them open. But one thing I do, they tell you to lay on this for 20 minutes a day. I sleep with it. I actually put it, I start off the night, I lay on my back, I stick it right underneath my neck, and I push my head back and I try to fall asleep, and I do. You know, I'll usually get 2 or 3 hours out of it, you know, and then I'll pull it off and get my little small pillow. I don't lay with a big pillow where it pushes my neck up. This shit has saved my neck from surgery. And I have MRIs in my neck. I have bulging disc all up in my neck, pushing his nerve roots on my left shoulder. You know, that, I've tried everything, guys. That saved my ass. That's another thing, too. I want to talk about some things that are going to happen different for next year, too, because I like changing shit up every year. We are going to different balls this next year. I'm going to give you a couple that we actually purchased the other day and a case apiece, and I'm going to try them out, see if they're going to work. I'm going to implement some balls during the year and give you guys my opinion on how they're performing in the heat. I think that's a big plus. You guys want good balls that perform in the heat. And we've been hitting on this field for years. We've been hitting on this field for 35 years. So I think I can, you know, we can better judge a ball here on what is a top tier ball and what is not. You know, a lot of you guys, I get balls and a lot of you guys want to know about the review right away. With us, it's a process. You know, you can throw a brand new ball out there, and like you guys done this in tournaments. Throw a brand new ball in there and that ball's hot for about 50 swings and then all of a sudden it's a piece of shit. Well, these guys give these ball reviews, take it out of the wrapper and they hit it. Oh, that's the best ball I ever hit. But no, you got to put a few hundred swings on that ball before you actually give it a good review. Same thing with batting gloves too. You guys notice we haven't put a batting glove review now because we're still using them. We want to see when they tear, if they lose any elasticity in the batting glove, you know, even with the ball. I'll show you guys that ball in a minute too. Is we got to hit the balls for a while, and then we're going to tell you what we think about the balls. I got some balls. I got some short porch balls that I got in my bag. I'm going to talk about those balls for the end of the year because we've hit them a while. The ones where I talked about, you know, 44 400s and a lot of you guys, 44 400, no, it's 44 400 at 70 degrees. When it got to be 90, it actually lost compression. And it got right around 44 375, 40, you know, it got in that range, not any hotter. So those balls were as comparable. You guys see the number on it. Those balls were more comparable to the Thunder Advance. Thunder Advance is a badass ball. The Dudley Thunder Advance is a badass ball. It actually holds the heat. It holds the heat. It actually helps with the heat. That's even another bad word. It doesn't lose that much compression. It loses a little bit when it gets to be 95, 100, but not as much as all the other balls that are out there that are being used. A few of the tattoo balls that are out there that are being used. So the ball process is going to take a little long. I'm going to show you a couple of balls that we're going to be using for next year. And the bats are easy. You know, we've constantly hitting the bats. The balls and the batting gloves are going to come along, and we'll have those about by the end of the year. We have a couple other batting gloves that came in that we're going to do reviews on. Mortar. Right here. This is from Short Porch. We got these in the other day. We're going to actually, it's a U-trip ball. And we're going to hit these and let you guys know what we think. We got a case of these the other day. They're from Short Porch, and we're going to let you guys know. The Freedom Ball is that other one that we had. And I'm going to let you guys know what we think about those. But give us a couple of 3 weeks. Let us hit put about, you know, a few hundred swings on them, and then we'll let you guys know. This is the new Onyx ball, 44 375. That's it right there. I know it's backwards, but energy ball. That's it right there from Onyx, the new ball that they have at 44 375. That's another one. I got a case of those in the other day. I usually do this at the end of the year, guys, and halfway through the year. I usually buy 2 cases. I get rid of all the old ones, throw in the better ones, and I give away all of to some seniors here in San Antonio that hit right next to us. I'll go over there and get all the older ones because I want to have fresh stuff in, you know, better better bat reviews when you do that. Nothing over 44,375 are comparable to it, like 44,400, but you got to look at the temperature too. That's what used to not be like this shit back in the day, man. You actually got to look at your ball compression, what it tests at different temperatures. And that's another thing we want to talk about next year too. Not only just bat reviews, but talk about ball temperature. And Trey, we might want to put the temperature of the day on every review we do. And as Trey's at home watching all this shit, just making more work. And I yelled at him, I said, well, you're just making more work for me, Trey. And he did. There are you guys, I hope you're not doing this. I already talked about those. I hope you guys are not doing this. I'll get talking about bats here in a minute, but I hope you guys aren't doing this. Is hitting your bats, hitting your top tier bats this time of year. And I don't care if you're in Arizona, California, Florida. It was cold here the other day, and I'm more south than Arizona. And it was cold here the other day. And it's not all about what the temperature is at that time you're hitting. It's where the balls were at the night before. Were they in 75 degree weather, 75 degrees inside? Were they inside your house when it was 50 outside? 50 at 24 hours sitting there at 50 degrees, which gets to that core, right? So for that core to heat up, that ball's going to be sitting in that sun for a long time for that core to heat up. That's what you guys don't understand. You say, well, it was 75 degrees outside. Well, how long was your ball sitting in the cold weather to get to that core? Because the outside could be cold. The inside could be cold as shit. So you got to look at that too. Where was your bat at? Because cold bats, it takes a while for the inside of that bat to heat up too. Not just the outside. That heat could be on the outside and make that barrel hot. But how cold is it still on the inside? If you check that, that's shit you've got to think about, guys, before you start talking about you broke this bat or you cracked this bat in, November and December. I look at the weather. I look at it all the time. I look at the weather. You guys are up there hitting that shit and then saying it doesn't get as hot as you might think. I heard the replies on you guys talking about that shit. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. I am talking to somebody, two things. Talking to somebody about a bat. Something that would benefit a lot of you guys during the wintertime. And I've been working on it for about 2 years. And that's in the future. You guys, why do you always want to join? You guys are going to be surprised. It's going to be something you guys can hit in the wintertime. And I'll talk more about it later. But there is light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to that. Another thing too, I have a ball company that is developing me a ball. And I just heard from them today. We've been working on it for about around 6 months. I'm getting prototype balls in the next couple of weeks. Sandy Sanders, what are you doing? That's my cousin, Sandy Sanders, right there. So first started playing ball with Sandy. Way back in the day, didn't even know we were cousins. First started playing ball with Sandy. I am developing a ball with the help of some other people. And this is not going to be your stadium balls you guys love to hit. This is going to be a ball and it's not going to be a one-piece ball either. More like a training ball. It's going to be more like a BP ball. It's going to be more of a cutter ball. You have to cut it to get it to go somewhere. It's going to be more of a ball that's very good for your bats. It's not going to be a ball that we're going to have doing reviews on. We're going to be hitting against our bats because it's not going to be a 44-375 compression ball. It's going to be a ball that you can take out and pitch and you guys can hit a lot with it. Durability, I want to be there. We are just in the testing phases of getting this ball put out there. It's going to be probably till next year. because there's a certain way I want it to do. I want it to be, and I want it to fly. You know, I don't want it to fly out of every ballpark. I want you to, it's going to be a ball where you have to hit it. What we have turned into is a society of hot balls where you don't have to work at your shit anymore. You get out there and hit those high compression balls, and you just, with a hot ass bat, you're just up there not even pushing it, you know, and you're just up there swinging. That's what we've turned into. This is more of a practice ball. You've got to hit it. And I think that would transition over to your game, you know. I think it'll up your game whenever you're playing ball. So this will be a training ball for you guys to hit. You got to hit it. Like I said, I think we turned into, let's see how far we can hit it. That's the kind of, watch the videos, all the videos out there. Oh my God, that one went over the lights, you know, and then you're swinging straight up. This is the ball you're going to have to swing down and cut it. You're not going to like it, hitting BP with it, because you're not going to get that glory 500-foot shot. I say 500 foot, that's exaggerating, but you get the point. I think we need to get away from that, make you a better player. And I came up with this idea years ago about developing a ball, and we are in the process of doing that. I'm going to get some prototypes, is what I was told today, in the next month or two, and we're going to start hitting them. You might see them on behind the scenes a little bit, and I'll talk about them a little bit when I'm hitting them, but it's not going to be your average ball that you get out there and just blow and go with it. Let me talk about some bats before I get off here. I'm getting close. Actually, I am there. I do like the crowd tonight. I don't know if I'm going to stay with, Wednesday nights. I like doing Wednesday nights because the guys that watch it on Fridays can actually hold it over, and you can rewatch it again on Friday nights when wife don't get mad at me. I don't want to piss off the wives. One thing I'm not going to do, a lot of you bat manufacturers are sending me prototypes and then get butthurt when I send a picture of it out there. I'm not going to advertise, publicize any of your bats unless they're production models. It's just, and I've done this in the past, and I kind of go away from it because I trusted people and I get burnt. But nothing has happened recently. I'm just telling you, well, a couple things happened where I got in trouble for posting a picture, and they said, we didn't give you permission to do that. Oh, why'd you send me the bat? And I talked about a little bit last week about that, but usually, and I'm not even going to hit them behind the scenes either, because I think a lot of you guys are trying to get advertisement, because when my guys do see a good bat and we're hitting behind the scenes, they're like, the expression on their face is like, wow, you know, that's advertising for you, and the bat's not even out yet. So we're going to kind of hold off on January. A lot of bats are going to be out, so you'll see the video from there. You know, we might hit them a little bit just to get a feel. A lot of my guys want to hit them, so we might hit them a little bit, get to the feel, but you won't see that video. I'll cut it out, because we're not here to do advertising for a lot of these bat manufacturers out there. And that's what this shit has turned into. And it's gotten out of hand within the last year, where a lot of bat manufacturers just want to see video. So they'll send us some bats and they're not even out yet. And I think that's a disservice to you guys, because they can change some shit up too. And it's a false sense. And I get in trouble for it if it actually comes out and the bat sucks, you know. So we're not going to do that anymore. And we didn't do it a lot in the past anyway, you know. And I always keep in contact with the guy who sent it to me, or the company that sent it to me. And I said, is this the real shit? You know, because if it's not, you're going to get in trouble for it. I'm not. You're going to get in trouble for it. So I want to go through some bats that are either done or we have to hit. And I think most of these are done. And you won't see the newer ones that are going to be out in January. I'm kind of hold off on that. I'm going to put this away. This guy's on your soft barrel bats. This is one of the, I think, and we hit it for a long time. It's a very good bat. It's actually still up on my soft barrel side. Greg Cerna from Onyx, the 2-piece. This is the softer, guys. We hit this bat last week. I'm going to have video up of us hitting this bat within the next few days. We've already we haven't did the review. I want to hit it one more time. I want to, you know, it's good. It's got a softer barrel, makes a great sound when you hit it. It's got a 12-inch, and all the videos that you see going forward for the next year, I'm going to have the weight distribution on the bat. So I think that's a service that you guys are looking for and a service that you guys want. I had this bat here. It's a balanced bat. A lot of you guys asked me how's it performing. Barrel's a little hard. On the DeMarini, it's a 2-piece. Looks like a 13.5-inch barrel. It's got the DeMarini always has that big hands on them, right? Murray, how's it going? Phoenix. DeMarini always has that big hand. I don't mind the hand weight, you know. I really don't. The hand weight. I don't mind the hand thickness. I really don't. It's got a little bit thicker than average out there, but DeMarini's always had that. I like the way this bat's performing right now. Again, guys, it's going to take a little while because it is a balanced bat, and it doesn't have no mass on the end, and it has handle weight. So that weight distribution is more down toward this way. So less stress on the barrel. It's going to take a little longer to break in. I have video coming up next week on that because we've already hit a couple of rounds with it. And I'll let you guys know. ASA Proton. We finished up the review on this. You're going to see the video coming out within the next 5 days on this bat. It's an ASA Proton Smith 1-piece. Looks like a 13-inch barrel. That video will be out with the weight distribution numbers on that. I don't know why. This is the retro 12-inch. This is a 16.688 on the hands. This is a 27. That was a 26. This is 17.93 on the hands. The one thing I will tell you about this is the weight distribution numbers are more toward the OGs. Because if you remember on the Party Time and the Nifong, the hand weight was a little less, just a little bit. So what you have is you got a little bit more hand weight, which better control 9.3. I like the 9.3s. I'm not bitching them on. It's a lot of 9.9. So it's a 9.3 on the hands with a 17-ounce end load. This bat is not your soft barrel bat like the OGs, you know. So you guys think it is. It's not. It's not going to soften up for you. But it performs very well. The video will be out on this. This is in my top 10. This is in my top 10. Problem is, nobody knows where to buy them. I do have a website I can give to you guys. It's actually the Dudley.com, website. And they're sold out till December, January, from what I was told. And they don't contact me. I don't talk to them. So I wouldn't know. I wouldn't want to know either. I'm just here to do the bat reviews. Let you guys know. This is the Anonymous. I'm going to talk to the law sometime within the next. This is a 1-piece bat. Looks like I could be wrong, 12, 13-inch barrel, 12.5-inch barrel. Performs very well. This is a really good bat. Weight distribution on it. This is a 26. I thought it does swing heavy on a 26 ounce if you're going to get a 26. I wanted to go up to a 27, and luckily I didn't. They only had 27s, 26s, and I got one a 17-ounce end load, 8.8 on the hands. Great handle weight, I think. That review will be out next week. 2-piece Proton. We've been hitting these for a reason. Nothing else than I wanted the guys to get a lot of swings on them. 2-piece Proton. This is a end load, 16.893 on the hands. 2-piece, great bat. That bat will make my top 10. It'll be up next week. Miken. We have a problem. And I don't know if it's a bad problem because the bat's not losing performance. But all these Mikens, right around the M on Miken down here, right around that M part, there's a seam that goes straight around the bat, right? I had somebody contact me. I have 2 bats, this one including. I have 2 bats that started off with an inch seam, and then all of a sudden it starts to create, more you hit it, it starts to create all the way around. This is the 27. I bet we've got 800 swings on the 27. I was in Florida. I was swinging the 26 and cracked it. Actually, what happened was the seam went all the way around. Well, when the seam goes all the way around, it actually flexes at that point right here. So it actually will flex a little bit. Not a good thing. You need stability in that whole barrel, right? So it actually flexes a little bit right in here, and it'll rattle on you. If you watched on the game on Sunday morning, my first at bat, listen to the bat sound, and I hit a 3-hopper to the shortstop, and I thought I smoked that ball. And I hit a 3-hopper to shortstop. He caught it, threw me out. So that's what happens whenever the seam goes all the way around. They happen to all the mic. It's not just the Johnny Baileys. It happened to the deal. So it's having that seam. Now, I don't think it's a problem. The reason is we're getting 700-800 swings on the bat. We're still getting, you know, on that mic, and I swung in Florida on the Johnny Bailey. The second ball up, I smoked it, hit the bottom of the fence. So, and it sounded like a sock, but I'm still getting that trampoline effect. It's not imploding. The seam, if it goes all the way around, it loses stability in that barrel, and the barrel will actually flex like this. It's happening to all the Micans. Now, is that a problem they're going to fix later? I don't know if they really have to. Every bat gets a seam. Not every bat, but 80%, 75% of the bats out there get seams. I don't think it's going to be a big problem. And it's hot. So I don't see anything happening, or it's a problem worth fixing. The problem that would arise from that is if you're in a tournament and then all of a sudden they're inspecting bats and they see that crack and they're going to throw it out because they don't know it's a seam, because they're not educated enough in bats to know that these bats get seam at this area. You know, this bat gets, DeMarini gets a cross seam. You know, the old Adidas get that seam that ran straight up and down. You know, a lot of bats out there get seams. This bat, Onyx 13.5-inch barrel, we've been playing around this bat. We throw it in there to compare it to a lot of other bats. This bat is at the end of its life at 750 swings. I think I said the other day, roughly around a lot of swings. It's got striations in the barrel. You can see it. Barrel flexes really good. I'm actually going to give this bat to a 65, 70-year-old guy that doesn't have that bat speed. I'll probably give it away on my membership channel for those guys on that membership channel. I do bat raffles over there. I'm going to do a couple before I actually turn in tonight. This one, Robo 17 TPS. I said this last week. A lot of you guys talking about this barrel. This bat's good for everybody, and the barrel actually loosens up. It does not. This bat swings like a log. You got a small sweet spot. Watch the video. What's the review on it? I'm not going to talk too much into it like I'm giving everything away, and I said that last week. This, I think, is it is. This is hot butter, 2-piece. Proton. Review on this will be out next week. Good bat. That bat will make my top 10. ASA. We've got video of us swinging this bat, too. It's an ASA bat. I told you guys I'm going to do ASA bat, let you guys know what my thoughts were on ASA bats. Another tip on ASA bats, too, guys. If you guys are picking and want a good ASA bat, make sure it's got a big end load to it. You know, test it out. I'll actually tell you the loads on these bats, because with ASA bats, they tend to be a lot more durable. They tend to be a lot less performing than the U-trip bats, which means that wall's a little bit thicker. You know, so you need dense mass. You need that big mass on the end, a lot of hand weight to help flex that wall. If you get a 1/2 ounce end load on a ASA bat, barrel's not going to perform that much for you, because you are hitting shitty balls too, right? So you need something with big mass, light handle weight, not too light, but light handle weight. And BP, that was fat guy, Adam. BP, actually, Adam, was it fat guy BP? And on the ASA bats, because that's the only ones I got right now. I got some more coming in. And then make sure you got big mass, because you got shitty balls, you got thick walls on that barrel. So you're going to have the really good weight distribution. Really good weight distribution to actually get that barrel to flex for you. So big end load on ASA bats. I didn't show this bat last week. This is the new Reloaded. It's got that orange and black. It doesn't have the signatures in it. This bat is better than last year's, better than not the year before, because the year before had the signatures on it. Ones with signatures on it, I'm telling you right now, the one with signatures on it had less handle weight. I don't know why they went up in handle. Well, I do know why they went up in handle weight. They went up in handle weight. This one has a 10.4 on the hands and a 16.5 on the end. Well, they took 0.3 of an ounce off the end, and I guess they put it in the hands. Because I have this bat from the old, I weighted, and I know what the weights are to it. So I already know that they disputed the weight. They put it more in the hands than they did in the end. Take less stress off the barrel. Maybe they were cracking too fast. I don't know. But here's the deal. This is probably one of the hottest barrels we've ever swung. So when you build a hot barrel, when you build a hot barrel, you can't have big mass on the end because it's going to collapse that wall. It's going to crack that bat. You can't have less handle weight when you build a very good wall, very, very good barrel. Stressing the barrel out. You guys know that. When you grab a bat and you go, this bat's hot as shit. Now how long it's going to last? Well, the only way to, the defense to that is take weight, because you got a badass barrel. Take weight out of the end and add it into the hands. It's going to last a bit longer. And you're still going to get great performance on it. This is a hot ass bat. You'll see the review on it. I love this bat. I actually took it to Florida with me as a backup. Even though with a 10.4 handle weight. Great control. I can hit up the middle 5-6-0, slap the ball, and I can hit those line drives that actually come up. Great carry. Not tremendous. If I would love with that bat another half-ounce end load in it. Keep your 10.4 handle weight. Just give me 17-ounce end load. God, that bat would be, it would move up a little bit more. This one, the mag, this mega load, I ran out of coffee. I ran out of water. This is a mega load melee. This is a 2-piece bat. Weight distribution, 8.8, 17 on the end. 8.8, 17 on the end. Well, what they did here is the barrel's a little bit tougher. You couldn't put that barrel. I would love to see that barrel on this bat. But they didn't do that because they knew with that 17-ounce end load, the 8.8 handle weight, that's going to destroy it. It wouldn't last 100 swings. 100 badass swings. So what they did was they beefed up this barrel a little bit. And I'm waiting for it to get there. That's one thing too. That bat got there quick because it was hot. Hot ass barrel. This one's going to take a little longer because you got a little bit tougher barrel. This is a good bat. I'm not saying it's not a good bat. We're going to hit it a little bit more and loosen up those fibers, that rosin. Now, AT-18. I was cursing Allen when we first started swinging. I put 150 swings on it. I was cursing Allen. It was just like the Micans. They sound like shit, 150 swings, 200 swings into it. They're no performance at all. No, didn't make that crack sound, didn't make that badass sound that they usually do. What happened about 200 swings into it, turned into a different monster. Started loosening up, started opening up. Tremendous distance. Clem will vouch for this. Clem hit one of the furthest home runs this year with this bat in the power alley up at the baseball field, up at that baseball field, almost when we're hitting that. So we just got it to open up the other day. Video's not out on it yet. I'm going to do a little teaser video on this too when I'm at the ranch, and I'll let you guys see us swinging it. And you can see our expressions when we first started swinging it. I was like, yeah, no. But now I swing it all the time when we're hitting BP. I'm done, guys. I know I missed some shit, and I'll go through everything. I did not even look at, I probably looked at a couple of on the chart that I'm doing, on all the stuff that I'm looking at right here. I only looked at a couple of them. That was just talking. Get ready for next year. I'm already hitting the weights. I don't know, Chino. Chino is starting a team next year. I'm going to kind of help out with that, do a little coaching, a little playing. Charlie Mueller, he's going to be there too. Trey will be there. I don't even know the other guys on the team. But Donnie King playing 55 major. And it's already out of the bag, Chino. It's already out of the bag. I might as well just keep going with it. Powerhouse Sports, Schooners is the name of the team. I'll see you guys out there. 60s, I'm a product place. I talked to Charlie and Donnie about this the other day. I am going to play 60s because I like playing 60s. And I like traveling. I like talking to you guys, shit like that. That makes it all worth. And you guys coming up to me and, hey, and thanks for what you do. That's what makes it. That's what makes my day. And all my guys that, you know, Chino and all those guys, they like hearing that shit. And I'll actually take pictures of it and send them. I have a group text, all our guys, 10 guys, and I'll send a group text, all the shit that you guys send me, you know, on what we do. And it's going to get better next year. You know, talk about a lot other things, nutrition. Guys, jump over that membership channel. Join that if you want to know a little bit more about building bats. You want a little bit more about nutrition, a little bit more about working out. My workout routine is actually started. I started doing video on it the other day. I'm going to talk more about it in there and let you guys know what I do to get ready for next year, because I do an off-season workout routine and then do an on-season workout routine. And my workout routine is different than a lot of everybody else's. Facebook, guys, join me on Facebook. You guys can see all of this stuff. And then my YouTube channel, make sure you guys join that too. And Instagram, Twitter, X, I'm on all that. I'll see you guys again next week when I'm in town. Thanks, guys.